Hi, welcome back to my channel. How you all doing? So today's video will be talking about sensitivity to order. If you haven't seen what sensitive period is, or if you don't know what sensitive period is, please go back and watch my previous video. I explained and listed 6 different sensitive periods in Montessori, and today we'll be talking about order. First of all, order in a child begins as soon as the child is born. So as opposed to the general myth that children love places that is disorganized and love to scatter things, children are actually sensitive to order. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly what I mean. So how do you even know a child is in this sensitive period? Now, have you observed a baby? When you take a child, a baby, a toddler or a baby to a new different environment, sometimes they cry, they get cranky, they are not comfortable, or maybe you exchange a baby as little as as an infant, and you give that child to another adult who definitely smells different from you as the mother or the father, or that specific environment. You see that the child starts to cry and all of that. So that is the child being sensitive to order. There is this precept that the child is used to, and you're taking that away, the child is going to of course react. So this is also part of order. Have you also observed your child lifting things from one part of the house to another, trying to arrange maybe your shoes? You usually take off your shoes at the door, and then this time around you just flung it somewhere. The child might pick it up and take it back to that place. Or you ask the child to go and get the water bottle. The child, where do you think the child will go? He'll go straight to where it is usually being kept. And if he or she does not see it there, the child will not start searching around like an adult would do. No, he will come back to meet you and tell you it's gone, the bottle is not there. So this is the child being sensitive to order. How can you help your child in this? Because all of this, the purpose is so that frustration between adult and child can actually reduce, and it will be like you are just stubborn and all of that. So my first suggestion is that you create a routine and try to stick to it. Children love routine. They thrive in routine. Whether normal or street children, or even children with special needs, when you create a routine for them, as basic as this is the time we wake up. When we wake up, this is the first thing we do. We brush, take a shower, then have breakfast. Then we walk with materials, or we go to school. When we come back, we remove our bags, we do this. Like, just create a routine. And then when it's time for bed, this is our bedtime routine. When it's time for this is what we do. The child would be less likely to fight or struggle because he or she knows the next thing to do. So they are not good at being spontaneous as we and as adults could be. In fact, some adults, they actually don't like spontaneity. So for children, it's better to create a routine around almost everything they do and help them understand the routine and then stick to it. If there's anything that is difficult for parents, it's actually sticking to a routine, because trust me, when you're tired, you don't want to do the normal nighttime routine. You just want all of them to fly into their beds and sleep, and tomorrow we can brush our teeth in the night, But it's good we just push ourselves and be consistent with a routine for them. Another suggestion is that we arrange their things in a specific place. So for instance, their materials, that I practice Montessori at home. So even if you don't practice Montessori at home, your children have toys, right? They have books, they have things they play with in the house. Arrange all of those things in a place. Their clothes, let it be in a place. Even the clothes, let it have an order. This is where trousers are for this child in this part. This is where your socks is. This is where pants is. This is where your shoes are. Even their play materials, their toys and all of that. This is where all the teddy bear goes, or stuffed toy goes. This is where the cars would be. This is nothing. There's nothing fancy. Just make sure that their things, their own things, are arranged in a specific way. What will this do? It will help them to even learn to be responsible for their things, as you model returning things back to where they should be. This takes me to the next point. Always model returning things back. Sometimes as adults we could just drop things and then leave it where it is, and we expect children to be organized. They can't learn that way. So whenever we pick a material, even if it's our own things or their things, we should return it. Now, if you notice, I'm not saying you should tell them to return the things back to their place. I'm saying we are the ones that are going to do the modeling, the parents, the caregivers, the teachers. When you pick a material, return it and make it obvious to them, so that they can, anyways, even if you don't make it obvious, they are observing it automatically. So let's always return things back to their place, and they would also learn that. So this thing about change, it's usual that when we are changing our environment or we are leaving a place at a certain time, we just drag the child along and we go. And by drag, I don't mean drag literally, but we don't get to inform the children as we would if it was an adult. But if there's anything I've learned in Montessori, is respecting the child as much as you respect an adult. Talking to a child just the same way you would address an adult, but this time around, breaking it down in the way the child will understand. So if there's going to be any change at all, and by change I mean you're going out on an outing, parents of toddlers would know that this part is hard, because when you have a cranky child screaming all over the place, maybe you go out and it's usually a lot. So I have noticed that it helps when you inform the child ahead of time that this is where we're going. My first daughter, for instance, whenever she sees me picking a shoe, she's asking already, where are we going? Are we going out? And so it helps the child to prepare the child mentally for the change that is going to happen. Same when you want to even change their resources or their environment. You want to change the position of their water bottle, the position of their wardrobe, or position of whatever, informing them that this is what I want to do. And if you couldn't even inform them beforehand, like orientate them again that, okay, this is now where your stuff would be, this is now where we are arranging this, or we are moving to a new place, this is what you should expect. So I'll just try to chip something in that if you're taking a toddler out and you're explaining or telling the child, okay, we are going to church, for instance, or we're going to the park, it's also good in the simplest form to I don't want to say tell, but explain the child's expectation. So if, for instance, you're going to the park, your child has never been there before, so it's going to be an unfamiliar environment. The child will definitely meet new people that the person that he or she does not even want to greet at all or hug. Talk to that toddler, talk to your child, and tell him or her the expectations. So we're going to this place, you're going to meet lots of people and you have lots of fun. You're free to climb the horses, and just make sure you stay close to mommy. I'm just using this as an example. And then you meet aunties, make sure you greet loudly, make sure they hear you. And then if you want to hug, I don't know, just communicate. And this would help prepare the child's mind mentally, like I said earlier. New parents or caregivers with newborns in your hand, this also affects you, because have you noticed that sometimes maybe an infant is used to sleeping in a specific space with this specific blanket and all of that? Do you know those things have its aroma, it have its scent already? Now you want to change, or maybe you went visiting and you want to change, definitely that child has to sleep somewhere else. I would advise that you carry a familiar I don't know, maybe stuffed material. For infants you can't use stuffed materials, but maybe a familiar blanket, a familiar bed sheet, something that the child is familiar with, into that new space. So it will still help the child's sense of order, and the child, it's not like a sudden change, like from this to this, what's happening. I think this particular one has to be another video, because sometimes children find it difficult sleeping in a new place. So taking their stuffed material, maybe something that they usually hug to sleep in their own usual space, to that new place would also help. Finally, as I round up this video, it's important to note that order in a child is different from the sense of order in an adult. For an adult, if you say I like order, it means that you like your things arranged in a specific way and your environment clean. But for a child, it is not about the cleanliness or the arrangedness, if there's any word like that, of an environment. It is how stable and consistent the environment is for the child. And by environment, I don't just mean the physical environment, I mean the emotional environment and everything around the child. I hope this video helps you. Thank you so much if you stayed to the end. Please do well to type your thoughts or questions in the comment section below, and if you have suggestions or what you've tried and has worked for you, please, we're all out to learn. Please do well to type it. If you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button, because I do parenting, kingdom parenting content and learning content for children that would definitely be of help to you. Until next time, see you. Bye.